So in today's video, we're going to go ahead and run down the greatsword. I'm going to show you guys how to use the greatsword and what skills to put onto the greatsword to maximize your damage and increase quality of life. The greatsword is a very slow weapon, but it hits really hard. This is not a build video at all. This is just recommendations of skills you can use with the greatsword. So without wasting time, let's just get right into it. All right, so let's go ahead and get ourselves started here. So with the greatsword, you have some basic attacks, right? You're gonna press your left click or whatever your corresponding button is if you use controller. Now you can either tap it or hold it. Holding it charges it up. Now it's important to understand when to release the charge. Release it at the right time after the second glow of your character. You'll also have some sound cues. You'll get maximum damage. But if you overcharge it past the second glowing phase of your character, you'll do less damage. So it's important to know when to let go. Also, there is a attack that you get. It's like a side slapping attack. The way to perform this attack is you do one basic attack and then press your attack button again with no directional arrows. So if you hold W or forward moving, you'll keep comboing into your next basic attacks. But if you just press the attack button without using a directional, you'll do the side slap. So right here, you'll see the combos into all three phases. And what you're seeing now is without a charge. But you can charge each phase of the greatsword, increasing your damage output to the maximum. Now, it takes a lot longer to do that, but you do get rewarded. So you only do that when you have the time, right? So there you go. Big numbers, but it takes quite some time to get those big numbers out. So we switch to the target inside of the training area just so that way we can utilize the skill that we have on weakness exploit. Being that the greatsword is a heavy weapon, it will wound on one hit, unlike some of the lighter weapons that take 2 hits to wound. So, just a little tidbit information, you can wound with one hit with heavier weapons. So you have alternate attacks with the greatsword. They're not the best when it comes to damage, but it helps you with hitting like airborne units, right? So on my mouse, it's my right click and left click. I'm assuming it'll be your triangle and your circle on controller, which will do your swinging your sword up into the air. Like I said, it isn't amazing damage, but it definitely comes in handy with some flying units who like to stay in the air. You can get a couple little hits on, maybe sometimes you can knock them out the air with it, but it's just something you can do. You can also do the roundhouse swing, which is pretty nice too. Like I said, doesn't do the most damage, but it's still some damage, right? You can combo that into anything you want. And right here, you'll see on the screen, we're blocking. So you can actually block with the greatsword. Me personally, I never use it, but I'm pretty sure it'll come in handy. And I should use it a little bit more, especially being the fact that the greatsword is a little slow. So the blocking definitely does come in clutch. It could stop you from taking uh, big hits. You'll still lose the smallest bit of health and some stamina. Now, right here, what I'm showing you is your slinger burst attack with the greatsword. What the slinger burst attack does with the greatsword is skips all the way to the final charge phase of the greatsword. So you have 3 attack phases. You got your first one, and then your second one, and then your third. But with the slinger burst, you can instantly skip to the third one. Well, after the first hit, you could shoot the slinger burst and instantly skip straight into the third phase. And the third phase is where most of your damage comes from. So Right here, I'm gonna go ahead and explain to you guys the true charge slash, right? So I know a lot of people say wake up the monster with a true charge slash. It is a good way to wake up the monster, but if you want maximum damage, as you've seen, it just said true charge slash. And that's because we didn't hit the first hit on the third phase. That hit right there is really important because that first hit on the third phase of the attack, if you land that, it changes your true charged slash into a true charge slash power and giving you a little bit more damage. It's sometimes between like 100 to like 300 extra damage, but extra damage is extra damage. So now we're going to be talking about tackling. Tackling can also skip phases. Also, tackling at the right time can prevent yourself from getting knocked back from a monster's attack. So let's say I'm about to charge up an attack and I see the monster's about to hit me. I tackle at the right time and I won't get knocked back from him and I'll stay being able to charge. Tackling also can skip phases of the Great Swords combo or whatever you want to call it. So utilize tackling a lot. So now let's go ahead and talk about the build. So what we're running is so the build that I'm running is what's her name? Velkana's 4-piece set, so that way I can get Frostcraft. And then I'm also running Frostfang's gloves because a 1-piece gives you the I don't remember what it's called. It's like it's pretty much from draw attacks. Like when you see the weapon and then you pull it out and attack, you get some stun on top of that attack. So it'll let us be able to like stagger the monster or sometimes knock them out. But with the Great Sword, you really just want raw damage. Damage everything, right? So you want to go for your critical odds, agitators, weakness exploits, critical boosts, stuff of that nature. And critical draw especially. So some quality of life skills for the Great Sword, I would say you want stun resistance for sure, especially because how long it takes to actually pull out combos. So you want stun resistance. You want quick sheath because you'll be putting this weapon away a lot in a fight. So you want to put it away faster. And that's really all the special skills that you really want for the Great Sword. Stun resistance and quick sheath. With that and some critical draw. Critical draws, it's all right. It's not the best, but it's a little bit extra damage here and there. Because it gives you 100% crit chance on your draw attacks. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. The Great Sword is self-explanatory. It's pretty easy. It's really slow, so it takes some time getting used to, but it's easy to run around inside of the game with the Great Sword and just get yourself killed, right? You're overcommitting to certain attacks. You're, putting yourself out of place and stuff like that, which causes you to take some damage. You'll see inside of this clip that I had recorded that I died to Teostra's little ultimate explosion attack because I was overcommitted into an attack, right? And because it takes quite some time to get it out, I didn't have time to get out of it. So but yeah, pretty much that's the Great Sword in a nutshell. Super simple, super easy, but pretty fun to use, especially when you get high numbers. So if you found this video useful in any form or fashion, go ahead, please give it a like, comment on the video if there's anything I missed out on explaining about the Great Sword, or if I pretty much hit the nail on the head. Go ahead and let me know in the comment section. Please subscribe to the channel, it helps me out, and it helps me stay motivated to make more content for you guys. And with all that being said, until next time.
These music.